Okay, so here we are. We are about to execute our first boot up. First, of course, I need to plug in the power supply into the power, switch on the power supply. I already have the HDMI cable connected to my monitor, or rather a capture card, so we can see what's going on the machine. Once it comes up, we'll meet the machine for the first time, see what it's reporting. We'll go to the manufacturer website, check for BIOS updates, and we'll take it from there. So let's go ahead and plug in the machine. Okay, the machine has power. It actually took no time at all to boot up, which is awesome. It is extremely quiet, and let's go ahead and see what we have on the screen. CPU is reporting 3.7. Of course, a total of 10 cores, which is correct. You have performance cores and you have productivity cores. They are split in specific dedication grouping. Everything looks good. Let's see. It's reporting that is a Z790 chipset. The date is correct. The speed of the memory also correct. And one thing that we have to take a look at, of course, is the CPU temperature, which is great. And of course, having pretty much nothing running into it, nothing really is going on, temperature should not go up. Right now I do have the side panel open. There was too much glare for the camera, so I am in a sense disturbing the flow of the machine. And the reason why I'm not doing anything, absolutely anything, is so that way we kind of sort of establish a baseline. The one thing I have to do is change the time. That's the only thing I have to do, but the date is fine, which is awesome. TPM, of course, is 2.0. Okay, so since we are here, let's go ahead and start clicking on stuff. Again, I see the temperature rising just by 1 degree, but again, I do have the door open, and as you can see, only the fan on the heatsink is on. The temperature inside this room is about 71, 72 degrees, and this is why I don't want to do absolutely anything. Of course, this doesn't take a lot of power or CPU or nothing like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and start looking around. Okay, memory, it is reporting 216s, which is correct, for a total of roughly 32 gigs of memory. It's reporting the right brand, speed, and everything. Okay, storage, let's take a look at the storage. Fantastic. I have my M2 and my SATA drive. That's a 1 terabyte. Perfect. And just as a note, I have 6 SATA ports on the motherboard, and as discussed before, for M2. see if I can, okay. Clicking on it doesn't give me any additional details. Yes, I can have some sort of RAID going on, but I don't. At this point, I'm not gonna have any RAID turn on, or rather execute it. So this is very important, having a count on the CPU fan, and of course the trajectory of the RPMs that the fan will take. Of course, that's for the CPU or pump. So the case fan is here. The case fan doesn't look like it's going to execute any. Well, at the moment it's not turned on, so not quite sure if it's waiting for a specific temperature, but that obviously will remains to be seen. And as we know, I have different settings that I can submit the fans to, and this, of course, this is the setting tab for the fans, and I believe I could be able to adjust their behavior as I see it fit. But this, of course, will require a little more understanding of the hardware and what kind of load it will be put through. Then by adjusting this behavior of the fans, can eliminate certain problems. Okay, let's go back over here. That's a help. That's my flash menu. But right now we're not ready for that. Yes, I do want to have that. I believe this is for energy, but I don't need that at the moment. That's probably for specific hardware settings mode, pre-program different settings mode. That's probably what it is. I don't have any, of course. Hardware monitoring. Okay, so we were here before, and that's for the fan control. Pretty much this is for the fan control. Yeah, nothing else. And again, the temperature, of course, of the CPU is gonna rise. I do have the door open, and I need to make sure that the case fans will be coming on. Yeah, it's rising, but we're still within tolerant temperature, so we are fine. So here you have your advanced settings, and for which you can do overclocking. Obviously, the flash is being ported over to this menu. Let's see, what other motherboard settings do we have? Okay, so it looks like this is a different visual. Okay, so I have a little bit of additional configuration. Okay. Capture control. Yes. I do have a CPU that has graphic dedicated resources. Wake online, we're not gonna need. If it means okay, that's okay. Let's see what else. Of course, boot order. I'm not gonna need. I'm not gonna do that yet. Overclock profile again. Overclocking is pretty much a separate thing that you want to execute once you're ready to overclock and you know what kind of settings you will need, what kind of profile you will need, not just overclocking the machine but also your cooling profile to match with it. So that's something that needs a little bit more studying depending on what you're going to use the machine for. So this is not just for me per se, but this here applies to anybody that wants to overclock their machine. The motherboard needs to support it and your devices need to support that as well. You may actually end up crippling your machine if you're not sure what you're doing when overclocking. So there are a lot of resources out there that on the internet that can actually help you with that. I'm not quite sure if that's something that I will be doing, at least not in the near future, unless of course I need to. This here gives me a shortcut for booting priority, and it looks like I can just move this up and down to actually reflect what is my priority on booting. For the meantime, we're just going to leave it default. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump on the website and let's take a look at what BIOS version does the website has available. Let's go ahead and look at, where's my, okay. Let's take a look at the website. So I already navigated to the MSI website and specifically downloads. So I selected motherboard as my main target of the product. So right now let's see what else they want. It looks like they want again to select the product, even though I already did. So let's go ahead, do that, select product category. I already did that. Okay, product type, there was a motherboard, but okay. Okay, motherboard. Okay, let's see. Content creator, gaming series. Okay, so I'm looking at. Okay, so it's a Pro series. So let's switch back to easy mode. This is pretty much the home default site, if you will. You know, it is a, kind of a site. But anyway, this is the home menu. In the home menu, that I see that, well, I mean, yes, it says Pro up here, and in the box. Okay. Okay, I'll take that, but it will. Yeah. But if you go here, it says Pro Series here, which is on the website. But anyway, I digress. Let's click on the Pro Series. Oh. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. So okay, it magically popped another menu. I didn't notice. Okay, so let's see. I'm looking for the Z790. Did I pass? No, I guess. Okay, so let's see. So it's the H and more H and B. Okay. Oh, we're getting closer. Oh. We were close. What in the world? Ah. Aha. Okay. Okay. So there are several 790. Of course, this is a chipset. So ours is a DDR4, yes. But ours is a Wi-Fi compatible or built-in is the P series. Okay, perfect. So that matches our product. So let's scroll back up to see if anything else. No, search is available. Let's go ahead and do search. Let's see what we have. Wants to register, not right now. Okay, oh, look at that. BIOS, it is the first choice, which is exactly what we should be doing. And we have the SOP here, pretty much the instructions of how to execute the flash. Oh, look at that, they have a YouTube page. Okay, wonderful. So let's see what else we have. Let's take a look at the version. And MS706B3. Okay, so they do have a newer version by a couple months. So we will see. Let's see what else. Let's see what other things we can match up just to make sure. Okay, so this is the firmware revision number. Okay, so it looks like this is what's going to show up in our motherboard, and this here is what we should look at to change, and of course the date. So this number here, so it looks like this number here is only for the file itself. itself, I guess. But anyway, either way, so this here is the main information that we should be looking for to match, to ensure that we have successfully upgraded our BIOS. Typically, you don't need to upgrade the versions in between. Typically, you simply just go for the latest version, which should contain all the changes from what you currently have on your motherboard to whatever is on their website at that particular time frame. But it's always important to adhere to whatever instructions the manufacturer has on their website. So that's something that we'll take a look next, and we'll go through it together so we can ensure we follow proper procedures. We do not want to break the machine right from the start. It's just bad practice. One final thing I want to point out is our CPU temperature went drastically down, and it appears that just by sheer looking at the rotation of the heatsink fan, that the heatsink fan has actually increased in revolutions per minute. So let's see if we can find, you know what, let's go to easy mode and let's go to fan information, and sure enough, it has increased. Not quite sure if that is the maximum rate, but I believe it is close to its maximum, and it's very, very quiet. Let's see, let's take a look at the box. Yes, I'm looking at the box of the heatsink, and it's rated for 20,000 RPMs, and as you can see, it is supposedly at over 20,000 RPMs, which yes, they'll be able to take it. And having the door open, having the room at a 72 degrees, the heatsink, of course, is doing its job. Now, we are not suggesting the machine to any kind of load whatsoever, but it has kept up with the CPU. Now later on, once we start installing software and putting the machine through paces, we'll keep an eye on the machine and its temperatures, as well as the fan pre-installed in the case, to see how they're performing. Now let's see, any LED functions besides on and off? No, not really. As well as I didn't see anything over here besides just on and off. But okay, perfect. Okay, so at least finally we're getting a little bit more information from, looks like power supply as well, and different temperatures corresponding to temperature on the power side of the CPU. Okay, so it looks like I have a way to actually engage all the fans if I need to. And in fact, let's go ahead and do that. Sure, why not? So the fans are ramping up. Okay, so this here is a CPU fan. Of course, I don't have 6 fans, so I'm not quite sure those other readings are reporting, but I'm glad they are reporting something. But this is what I'm more concerned. Perfect. I was just taking a look at the fans. They're all running and they're right now throttling down. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the BIOS video and we'll proceed with upgrading our BIOS.